Welcome to the Louie File. I want to talk to you today about something that's pretty deep, and I'll probably end up just scratching the surface with this in a 5-minute video. But in Romans 7, Paul walks us through what it looks like for someone that thinks they can keep the law of God. Now, we all know that a lost man can't keep it. We all know that we're all born sinners, and that that's just the way we have to come into this world because of our forefather Adam sinned and we were in him. So that's why we must be born again. But you know, even after you're born again, you still can't keep the law of God. Not in a self-effort way, not in a sense that I can now, I can stop lying or I can begin to not covet or whatever. So the Apostle Paul, he walked us through what the battle looked like with coveting in Romans 7. And he said every time that he tried to stop coveting, he would just covet more. And that the law seemed to be a weapon that sin was using against him. And sin in Romans 7 is very personified, as though it's a person. I think this chapter has puzzled people for a long time. And I think there's a lot of people still puzzled. And I'm hoping that I can help you get it clear in the next video or a few videos. What if we thought about sin in that chapter, verse 7, as being a person? Because it says that sin deceived me and sin dwells in me. Right? I mean, so it has very human characteristics. This all goes back to our understanding of what does it mean to be a sinful human? Does it mean that our humanity in itself is what is infected, therefore just being human makes us sinful? Or is it a spirit or a person that has intruded and moved into the human? And maybe we don't even know this. Maybe that's what the law was meant to do, was to expose this squatter, if you will, in our humanity. So, on one hand, we got people thinking that the term flesh is the same as sinful nature. But for me, I don't think that's what the term flesh is all about. I think personally that the term flesh in itself is more a neutral term. Jesus, God, came here in the flesh, but we also know he was not sinful, right? So being in the flesh itself doesn't just necessarily mean sinful. It says that he came in the likeness of sinful flesh to deliver us, right? So how does that deliverance occur? How does it look, or what does it look like? Well, I think that Romans 6, of course, teaches us that we were joined to Christ in his death, burial, and resurrection, so we're dead to sin and now alive to God, alive to righteousness. All right, so that's a wonderful piece of news. But then we move into Romans 7 and we see that Paul and us subsequently are still not able to perform the law. So we're forced to come to some conclusions. The flesh, the human, in and of itself is helpless or powerless to do its own good or evil. The big lie from the beginning came from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Sometimes Satan uses the good as well as the evil from that forbidden tree. We get puffed up thinking we're doing pretty good, or we get condemned thinking we're just never going to make it, right? A friend of mine, Brian Coatney, wrote a little booklet called Condemnation and Commendation, and he called it Evil Twins. Whether you're patting yourself on the back or you're pressing yourself down and always rotten and hating yourself, they're both wrong, right? They're both prideful human stuff. The key here is to see yourself as unable to perform good or evil apart from another. In Romans 7, Paul comes to the conclusion that he wants to do good, but even the one that wants to do good, evil is present with him. He said, so it's no longer I, but sin that dwells in me doing it. Great revelation there. And then if you look in Galatians 2:20, you'll see the opposite side of this, where he says, I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. Right? So on one hand, he's saying it's not I, but sin. On the other hand, it's not I, but Christ. The point being is it's never just me. It's never just I. There's always another. We're always a branch. Apart from Jesus Christ, the true vine, we can do nothing. I think that's the key. I'm going to spend a little more time on this probably in the future, so I hope this helps you, and stick with me. Just keep your nose in Romans 6 and 7 for right now, and we'll dig through it a little bit more in the coming videos. So thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.